My 29 husband, 34, of almost 10 years thinks, I'm not trying hard enough, I need help please. I've been with my husband for almost 10 years. We have an 8-year-old girl. Her pregnancy couldn't have been worse. I got chickenpox the first month of pregnancy, placenta previa and HELLP syndrome. An emergency C-section was required and I had to stay in the ICU for a few days. Well, I just had my yearly gynecologist checkout and for the first time I had a vaginal ultrasound, and it showed a big size hole in my uterus. Neither my uterus nor the external C-section scar healed correctly. My doctor told my husband that if he was my husband he would have a vasectomy ASAP, since I cannot take any hormonal birth control. Since this news I've felt absent, even more depressed and anxious. Unworthy of love, like I lost a part of me. So many emotions are exploding in my heart and mind, I feel like screaming and crying, and he is not being supportive. When I approach him he starts talking about how exercise and going out will make me feel better. Apparently I'm not trying hard enough because I don't have the physical, emotional and mental energy to go to the gym every day after cleaning up our apartment, washing our cloths, taking care of our cats and working 11 hours per day 6 days a week, while getting treatment for anxiety, depression, ADHD and fibromyalgia. How can I explain to him, make him understand my situation? How can I make it emphasize with what I'm going through? I am already giving 110% of what I can give but it's not enough. Yesterday my thoughts of me not being worth came back, I feel so trapped. Too long did not read. My husband of 9 years thinks I'm not doing my best effort to get better. I don't know how to make him understand my struggles, the seriousness of my illnesses. Hey babe. If the person living with you can't see, right up close, that you're struggling, there's nothing you can do to open their eyes. Please stop and listen to what you're asking right now. You're asking how to make your partner empathize with your pain. That is literally the bare minimum a partner can do. I'm so sorry you're in this situation. I hope you recognize you should be treated better than this. Honestly, here's what I'd do. Tell your husband you're ready to put your full effort into your recovery. As such, you've booked yourself a week-long stay at a nice hotel, where you can fully focus on your mental and physical health. He'll need to take care of all the household and parenting duties while you're gone, as well as book that vasectomy. If he's got any questions, you have your doctor's phone number for him. Honey, he knows your situation. You can't make him understand. He doesn't want to understand. P.S. How is your husband going to handle life when shit really gets bad? Because let me tell you this, shit only gets harder. You've seen the real him. Is this what you find acceptable for the rest of your life? Why are you doing all of the household work when you are also working FT? Nobody could get better under those circumstances. Your husband sounds like an asshole. And for what it's worth, vasectomies are incredibly safe, easy, cheap, and effective. If him getting one helps your health, that should be an easy decision for him. Source: had a vasectomy. Your husband needs to do his fair share of the housework and breadwinning. You're out there working 11 hours days plus all of the housework and he has the nerve to tell you to try harder. What the fuck is wrong with him? Honestly, if you initiated a divorce, it would be less work for you, and you would have the same amount of support from him since that's currently at 0. I'm so sorry for what you've been through. Is there a way you can get a different job? Working 11 hours a day is not normal or healthy. You do explain to him and make him understand. His views are fairly irrelevant here. You are in this spiral as you are trying to take on too much, not doing any of it to the best of your ability, and then your brain can't unwind. Focus on small things you can change for the better. Every step you take is a win, and if you need to communicate those steps to him. Get some things off your to-do list to save yourself from obsessing. Stop worrying about what he thinks. Good luck op. While getting treatment for anxiety, depression, ADHD and fibromyalgia. Glad to see you already beat me to the therapy punch, but that does mean that you are trying. The fact that it isn't healing fast enough to suit your husband isn't your fault. Getting a breath of fresh air is not going to be what heals the trauma you've gone through. Did you guys plan to have another child at some point? The fact that you can't get pregnant again is a loss for both you and your husband, and I think you're grieving it in two separate ways that is causing issues. I encourage you to go to grief counseling and then maybe couples counseling if you can afford it. I think you need to learn how to communicate with each other in a healthier way. Take care. Purple Heart. Got family. Take your kid and go to them. Better yet, get him to come to you. And see a lawyer. Question: why isn't surgery to close up hole and fix open scar on the table? Your husband's lack of empathy can't be fixed by you. It's not your fault that the birth was bad. You can't fix what you have with exercise. What an ignorant suggestion. Can you fix a broken bone with exercise? Good God, is he the sort of person who would try to treat cancer with a juice cleanse? He needs a vasectomy. It sounds like he really doesn't contribute enough at home. Do you two have equal leisure time? Equal sleep? If not, why not? I think it's well past the time for marriage counseling. If there's one thing that will help your health, it's having a more equitable marriage. So what is he doing? Are you that tight on money that shorter hours is not an option? You need more you time to get better. I am very aware that this will be hugely unpopular, but it has been 8 years since your daughter has been born. At some point, your happiness becomes your responsibility. If your husband is not supportive and you feel trapped, leave. If you are feeling depressed and anxious for 8 years, get therapy. Change something, because the way it has been so far is clearly not working for you. Read this. He is not being supportive. When I approach him, he starts talking about how exercise and going out will make me feel better. Apparently I'm not trying hard enough because I don't have the physical, emotional and mental energy to go to the gym every day after cleaning up our apartment, washing our clothes, taking care of our cats and working 11 hours per day 6 days a week, while getting treatment for anxiety, depression, ADHD and fibromyalgia. Does he scream toxic to you? He should support you. And he should know you well enough to tell something's wrong. He sees that you are struggling. He just doesn't care. He buys his leisure with your labor and is happy to keep it that way. Girl, if the man you live with, are sleeping with, and have married can't see you're struggling, then he doesn't care too. There's nothing to help this situation but either therapy or divorce. How can I explain to him, make him understand my situation? He doesn't care. He just plain old doesn't care about your situation or pain. You're the woman who birthed his legacy and keeps his house clean and raises his child. Anything else is of no concern to him because he's getting what he wants and you'll stay with him no matter how he treats you. Why would he change? You can't, because he knows. He just doesn't care, at least not beyond how it's inconveniencing him. I'm sorry your husband is awful. Please reach out to friends and family, confide in them, maybe ask someone to stay over and help out, and get yourself into individual therapy. Stop worrying about fixing your husband and worry about yourself. You need to survive, not debate that you need help, which you objectively do to your husband. Maybe ask your doctor to talk to your husband. But make fixing your husband someone else's problem, or otherwise put it aside for now. For now, you are the one who needs attention and help and resources. Get them for yourself. If he won't give, ask others. What does your husband do around the house and for your child, besides belittle you and ignore your pain? You've got fibromyalgia and a literal hole in an internal organ. You don't need to be at the gym, you need to be healing. I think your husband, in a very awkward way, is trying to help by suggesting physical exercise to feel a bit better and heal. Why not try it? It would give you some time to yourself and lift your spirits. He's not a demon, and probably feels very awkward about discussing your problems. Try to discuss how much you feel overburdened. Be specific about what he could do to help. Are you going to therapy? Maybe getting medical treatment for your anxiety and depression would be a good thing to do. You can only change you and not him. Once you are mentally feeling better, you can deal with your husband from a healthier perspective. All the advice of you leaving him before you are mentally healthy could really take you down even further. Good luck. Praying you have better days ahead of you. Real men get vasectomies. It's much easier for them and does not affect their performance. My boyfriend had one years ago and he's a dynamo. Tell yours to get one. He probably didn't mean that you aren't trying hard enough, he's just awkward with the support, and I'm kinda like that, so maybe being more blatant will help. And what's the distribution of chores at the house if majority you? Ask him to take more up due to your condition and you need more rest time. Also, what's your husband like? Is he assertive or rude, quiet or inattentive? Some things like that might give more idea on how the people here can help, as I'm barely seeing anyone trying to see from both perspectives. If he has a lot of negative attributes and if you are blatant, like asking him if he could help with something, then if he's not willing to improve himself, the relationship is dead. Man, I wanna say a lot of mean things about your husband right now, but I know it's probably get removed. I have had depression for years. Your husband sounds like every person who's ever told me that I'm not trying hard enough. But they could never see how much energy I was using. Honestly, if you have explained to him how you're feeling and he doesn't want to be sympathetic, then I don't think you can make him understand. You need to stop working significant other many hours and take care of your body, health. Your husband needs to pick up the slack of housework, getting food. etc. You can't do it all, please. Get some help. Just want to throw in a different perspective. One person can't be everything to everyone, and your husband is showing you, with actions and words, he can't be there for you. You can't control how he feels, and you can't make him feel anything he doesn't feel. Stop giving 110% to your relationship, and give it to you and your child. Focus less on him, and more on you. What is your support network? Family, friends, therapist? Are you part of any groups of people that have experienced what you've been through, and can truly understand? Talk to your doctor. There are all kinds of people out in the world, a lot like you, and they can help you carry this weight. Deal with your husband when your focus is back on you and you have created a group of trustworthy people who have your back. Why are you doing most of the housework despite the fact that you work much more than standard and take care of your kid and have a major medical problem? Don't answer here just to make excuses for him. Yeah, I know, he takes out the trash and cooks and complains that cooking is hard lol. Just answer honestly in your head if this is really a fair division of labor. And if it isn't, ask yourself just how loving he can really be, if he is okay with you destroying your own health for his comfort. Oh, almost forgot. He wants you to do even more because he is not happy with your weight gain. Really? You think this is what you deserve? I find these posts really hard to read. You've built a life with someone and that obviously matters to you, it would to anyone. But he's being either callous or incredibly obtuse about you've got going on. An adult shouldn't really have to be taught empathy in their 30s, especially for their spouse. I'd write down the things you do in a day, every day for 2 weeks, and how long they take you to do. Ask him to do the same. See how they stack up, and at least give yourself paperwork for when he says, you don't do enough. You can ask him, where in this schedule do you imagine more can go? Over and over and over I see stories on here just like this of women, 99% of the time it's a woman, receiving no emotional support from their husbands and barely or no help running the household at all, and yet they've been continuing to slave away under the delusion that somehow he just doesn't understand the issue. Women really need to stop allowing themselves to throw away their lives into slavery and misery like this. Your husband is a fucking grown man who is perfectly happy with the status quo, so he isn't going to change one bit. He will resist all your efforts to rise up out of this hell you're in. Your husband is a big jerk. Why are you working 66 hours a week and doing all the housework and etc.? Why is he minimally helping? If you're working so much, then he has time to clean more and do other things. Him cooking and taking out the trash is nada. Your 8-year-old can do that. Stand up for yourself and start taking more and giving less. If your husband doesn't get the snip and start doing his part, one would rethink this marriage. You're supposed to be partners. Okay, so. Let me understand this. 1. You work overtime to save money, take care of the house, the child, pets, etc. 2. Your husband cooks and takes out the garbage. Complaints about you not doing enough. Explain to me, why do you need him? 9 years are enough to know what your partner does and to understand. This man is selfish, cooking and cleaning the trash is nothing. He pays the rest of the bills. Takes care of the house, your daughter. I mean, what else does he do, to compensate for everything you work? Also, your life is in danger if you get pregnant. Thinking about it, to protect your partner is not enough. You don't have to think about it, you do it. Sounds to me like you don't need him. Info. Does your husband have a job and contribute financially? The way you're avoiding the question makes me think not. Not the asshole. I really wish women would expect more for themselves. Your husband sucks, might take you the rest of your life to really get it. I hope not, though. You deserve better. We all do. Every single person in this post understands perfectly clear what the situation is and would help their spouses out, by taking over, until they have figured out their physical and mental health problems. Your husband knows that as well. He isn't a moron. The issue is that he doesn't care. So the question is, why doesn't he care? I would ask him that. Fibromyalgia tells me everything I need to know.